Hello, this is the Teaserking coming to you with my New Year Week 17 in the NFL predictions. I have 3 locks for you this week for happy holidays. Again, go to www.teaserking.com to look for my picks, look at my locks, my history, trends, chat with me, leave a chat. If you have a game you like to, if you like my pick on the Alabama-Michigan State game, let me know and chat with me, and I can give you my my impression of the game or any of the games on this coming holiday season. I'm going to have 3 locks for you today for Week 17 in the NFL. Basically, I'd like 3 games. You've got to be careful here. Where teams need the game, but because they need the game, the spread's adjusted, so you can't just blindly take that. Last week I warned you about San Diego at Cincinnati, saying how the trends all favored Cincinnati, and sure enough, Cincinnati wins easy. And people are going, well, San Diego needs the game. But San Diego's not a good road favorite. Cincinnati was a good home dog, and look what happens. Cincinnati wins the game outright, even though San Diego needed it. So you still got to watch the trends and the team's personalities. You can't blindly bet it because the team needs the game. They're automatically going to win it. There's a reason the team needs the game. They're not that good where they haven't clinched the playoff spot. Occasionally you'll have a situation where you have Atlanta needing the game because they're number 1 seed. That's different. But these teams that are 8-8 needing the game, like St. Louis and Seattle, you can't trust anything there. So you just have to watch it. So don't blindly just take the game because they need the game. Anyway, here's the first lock for the week. Tennessee and Indianapolis. Indy's 9.5. I would take Indy minus 3.5 in the game. There's not huge trends on the game, but Indy needs the game. They're at home. Tennessee got blown out by KC last week. You have a similar type of offense in Indianapolis. Tennessee's not going to handle them. And Tennessee really doesn't have the offense. They have Chris Johnson. They'll have to run him a lot, but if they get behind, they're going to be in trouble. Kerry Collins is an average quarterback. I don't see him lighting it up like a Phillip Rivers or Tom Brady does to Indy, and that's where they have problems, are those 2 teams because of the quarterbacks. So I don't see that happening here. Kerry Collins is not good. And I just see that Indy, you're only laying 3.5. They'll get the lead, they'll sit on it, but I just don't see them losing at home in a must-win game with Peyton Manning. You've got to bet Peyton Manning in this game. He'll win this game. He'll win. He's at home. Let's look at the trends. Tennessee, Indy. When the game is in Indy, Tennessee is 6-2 since 2000, and because they changed divisions, it's not a full 10 years. And Indy's 8-3 is the favorite in this series. Since 05, they'll have a full trend. Indy is 4-1, and the dog is 4-1, and Indy is 6-2 as the favorite. Tennessee's only 5-3 as the dog. You got Indy at home. They're 4-1. Overall in this series, Indy is 9-2 since 2005, and Tennessee is only 7-4. So you have a little bit of an edge in Indy there when they match up head to head. We quickly look at my micro trends. Indy as a home favorite is 5-2 play against and play with for 2010. They're 11-4 against the number. They're 5-2 against as a home favorite and 12-3 overall. So it's a little bit. They've been losing the games. The games they win, they tend to cover. Most of their losses have been. They obviously don't cover that, but they've been losing the game straight out. I don't see that happening here. Tennessee's a road dog is 3-2, 8-7 overall, 3-2 against, and 9-6 overall. And since 09, Indy is 13-4 as a home favorite, 26-8 overall. So that's a good 76% as the home favorite. They're also 13-4 against as the home favorite, and 26-8 against. So they're exactly. You take them or you go against them. You are very similar. And of their games that they've got covered, they've lost. The Dallas game, the San Diego game at home. So those are 2 of the losses. I don't see them losing to Tennessee. This is a game they'll be focused on. They need to win it. They have to win it. They'll win the game. Tennessee is a road dog, is 8-2, so that's 80%. That's a good road dog, and they're 6-4 against. So they're a little bit stronger as a road dog, but most of that's with Vince Young. Kerry Collins is okay, but I don't think he's going to do much damage in this game. So the first lock is take Indy minus 3.5. Second lock, we go to Cleveland in the Pittsburgh Cleveland game. Pitt's minus 5.5. I love Pitt plus a half a point. All they got to do is win, and there's huge trends on this game, unlike the Indy game where the trends are a little bit in favor of Indy. We're betting that more on the fact that Indy must win the game. This game, Pittsburgh and Cleveland, the game's in Cleveland. In Cleveland, since 2000, Pitt is 9-1 in the teaser. The favorite's 8-2, which you have Pitt as the favorite. Pitt is 18-3 overall as the favorite in the whole series, depending if the game's in Cleveland or Pitt. And Cleveland's 14-7 as the dog. So you can see Pitt dominates this series, dominates the game in Cleveland, and wins the game in Cleveland. Since 2005, Pitt's 4-1 and the favorite's 4-1. Pitt's 9-2 as the favorite in the series. So you can see Pitt handles Cleveland very well. This is a game they play well and win. Let's take a look. In 2010, Pitt as a road favorite is 4-0 and 12-3 overall if you took them every week. And that's including 4 weeks without Ben Roethlisberger. If you go against Pitt as a road favorite, they're 3-1 and 9-6. So you can see they're very good as a road favorite because of their defense, because of Roethlisberger. They run the ball well. So even in bad weather, Pitt will have no problem here. So these are very good rolls for Pitt. At Cleveland as the favorite and as the road favorite. Cleveland as a home dog is 3-2 and 12-3 overall. So Cleveland's not been bad this year, but mostly as a road dog. They're 8-0. But if you bet against Cleveland as a home dog, they're 4-1 to bet against. So they're better to bet against as a home dog in 12-3. So if you bet against them 15 times, well, if you just made a teaser in the Cleveland games, you'd be 12-3 both ways. So just Cleveland's playing, make a teaser, you're going to win 12 out of 15. Since 2009, Pitt's 8-3 as a road favorite and 23-8 overall. They're 9-2 go against as a road favorite and 25-6. So they've been a little bit better to go against Pittsburgh since 2009. But still, in this one, they need the game. It's a must-win game for them, and they play Cleveland very well. Cleveland is a home dog, 7-3, 23-7, which is 77%. But against as a home dog, they're 8-2, 80% if you go against Cleveland when they're the home dog, and 24-7 against, about 78%. So you can see Cleveland's weak as a home dog. You go against them. When they're favored at home, they win the game. When they're dogs at home, you go against them. Simple as that. So you have the micro roll. Pitt plays Cleveland in Cleveland very well. Pitt's a good road favorite, and Cleveland is not that strong of a home dog. They're a better go against home dog. So you have a lot of factors there. Pitt needs the game. They have to win it to win the division. Baltimore will beat Cincinnati. So Pitt can't even worry about that. They just got to go to Cleveland. They're very comfortable winning there. They'll go there. They'll get the W. And all they got to do is win. You're getting a half a point. I think that spread's kind of low. The spread should be about 9 there. The third and last lock I'm going to give you is Carolina at Atlanta. And we're going to take Atlanta. Atlanta's laying 14.5. Cut it to 8.5 points. It's a big number for a lock in the NFL. I don't like to lock too many big numbers here. This spread is a little bit about right where it should be. Normally, if Atlanta didn't have to win, it might be 10. But Atlanta has to win this to be the number 1 seed, no matter what New Orleans does and the Bears. Obviously, if the Bears lose, Atlanta's the number 1. But I think Atlanta, if they do lose and New Orleans wins, New Orleans would win the division. So Atlanta must win this game. You're playing one of the worst teams in the league, Carolina. Well, let's look at the trend. How does Atlanta play Carolina? And that's really the key to this, because you can't just look at that because they might not play well. So let's see, Atlanta against Carolina, and the game is in Atlanta. Atlanta's 8-2 since 2000. Atlanta's 8-2, and the favorite's 8-2 in this. Atlanta's 8-2 is the favorite in the series. Carolina's 6-4 is the dog. In Carolina, Atlanta won as the favorite. Carolina couldn't win at home, couldn't cover at home, and couldn't cover as the dog. So you have Atlanta being very good in Carolina. Since 2005, in Atlanta, Carolina is 4-1, and the favorite is 4-1 here. Atlanta's only 3-2 since 2005. And this kind of tells you why I do the trends 2000 to 2009 and 2005 to 2009. You can see the difference in the trend. When you look at the 2000 to 2009, Atlanta's 8-2, but when you look at the last 5 years, they're only 3-2. So it shows you that the trend's changing a little bit. But with all the injuries that Carolina has and the new quarterback and Jimmy Clausen, I just don't look at Carolina being too competitive in this game. Overall, Atlanta's 3-2 is the favorite, and Carolina's 3-2 is the dog. And again, as I said, Atlanta covered the spread, and Carolina lost at home the first one. And that's usually, if you can't beat them at home, it's going to be hard to beat them on the road, but there's not that huge trend there. Then we look at Atlanta, Carolina. Let's take a look at the macro approach. Atlanta at home, 7-0 this year, 13-2 in a teaser this year. If you go against Atlanta, there's 6-1 as a home favorite, and 10-5 against. So you can see Atlanta is very, very strong at home, very strong covering. Now, when you start laying 14 points is when you start not covering. Only that New England team that went undefeated a few years back, they covered, and they were laying 17 points all day. That was just phenomenal. But they had Brady and they had Moss, and their defense was good. I look at Atlanta to just run the score up and win this game by about 30 points. Let's look at Carolina this year. 2-5 is a road dog. 4-11 if you bet them in a teaser. If you bet against them, they're 5-2 against as a road dog and 13-2 betting against them. So Carolina is just the bet against team in the league. The only other team that's like that is San Francisco, is also 13-2, and Houston's 13-2. So those teams just bet against them. Since 2009, Atlanta is 11-1 as a home favorite, 92%. Actually 12-1. I apologize because of last week. They're 12-1 at home, and they're 24-7, which is 78% if you just take Atlanta. If you go against them as a home favorite, they're 10-3, so that is 76%, and 20-11. So you don't really make your money betting against Atlanta. Mostly you bet them as a home favorite. Atlanta's not the strongest road dog. That's kind of their weakness here. But Atlanta at home with the crowd. This is a must-win, #1 seed. After a loss to New Orleans, I look for them. They don't want to go into the playoffs with 2 losses, and this is not a team that's going to bother them, Carolina. So I look for that to be a big win for Atlanta. So to recap, we're locking Indianapolis in a must-win game at home, laying 3.5 to Tennessee. We are taking Pittsburgh +0.5 against Cleveland in Cleveland, and we're taking Atlanta. We're laying 8.5 at home against Carolina. Now the only, yes, all 3 of these teams need the game. They must win the game. You do have a little concern because these are all division games. And I think almost every game this week is a division game, and I really don't like that because some of these trends get skewed. The Bears in Green Bay, there's a huge trend on Chicago this week, and you would take Chicago normally, but if they don't have anything to play for and they lay down and they rest their players, Green Bay's going to win, and it messes the trends up. So you just got to be careful with this. Same thing with New England, Miami. Anyway, I only get 15 minutes on here, so I will do another one. Anyway, Happy New Year, and I hope these 3 come in. I've been very hot lately with my locks and the pros. And please go to the website, www.teaserking.com. You can see my history. Chat with me, ask me questions. I'm happy to answer. Happy New Year, and good luck.